And we are here. We are here. We are valid. We are at Lights Camera Yaption with your host Sampy. Hello, how are we doing? It's Sam today, and we are at the podcast where we talk about media, entertainment, and whatever else I want to yap about. Episode 5, guys. 5 guys, burgers and fries, staying alive. We are here, and we are so excited to talk to you. How are we all doing? Hope we're doing well. I'm having a great time. As you can see, energy is high. I finally recording on a time what I meant to record. Usually I leave it a little bit too late in the day and go, oh my god, I've left this too late, even though I've only just started, guys. What the heck? And with just starting the podcast, that means that there's going to be a few changes. As I said, it's going to be a work in progress, and we're coming to our first change, which is that I'm going to update the format a little bit and change it so that we have our 3 sections. We have our lights, camera, Yaption, and we're going to flip it. We're going to flip it so that Yaption is still going to be the end, but that is where we're going to talk about the TV shows and things that I'm catching up on. And that is going to be the kind of like weekly catch up on all things I'm watching. And instead, we're going to start the episode with like a more general kind of like, here's what's happening right now in the world. We're going to talk about the TikTok trends. We're going to just set the stage and give just a little bit of like a introduction more to the episode, I think. This is mainly because they announced Drag Race UK Season 8 is coming soon. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'll talk about that on the podcast. And I went, I cannot start every single episode of this podcast with here's what's going on in the world of Drag Race. Because at that rate, anyone who doesn't watch Drag Race is not going to take part in this podcast. And I thought about it more and I was like, oh yeah, that probably applies to like all the things I watch. Like if you don't care about reality TV show, I mean, if you don't care about reality TV and you don't really, and the thought of talking about it turns you away from this podcast, then I'm kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm your guy, but I do think it doesn't make sense to start every single episode with the same topics, is how I feel. I thought it was maybe a good like anchor to begin with, but I'm flipping it around. So instead, Yaption is where I'm going to yap about the shows that I'm currently watching. I think that's a good conclusion as well, because it means that if you don't care to hear about what I'm talking about, you can leave and you haven't missed out on any of the main course. Does that sound good? Does that sound okay, guys? I hope that's all right. No format. Lights, camera, Yaption. But yes, hope we're all doing well. Today's episode, I haven't even talked about what we're going to talk about. We are going to look at all things D23, D's Nuts 23. They had their D23, which came with a bunch of new film announcements, TV shows. What I'm most excited to talk about is the park announcements as well. For anyone who doesn't know, D stands for Disney. This is the Disney Expo. And they had a whole bunch of announcements, and there's a lot of them very exciting. There's a lot of them very strange. There's a lot of them enticing. So we're going to talk about all of those, or as many as I can fit into our section, and just have a wee yap and see what's coming up, because I think there's a lot of cool films coming out. I think there's a lot of things that tell us about the kind of state of Hollywood and theme parks, and so we're going to dive into that at some point as well. But first, I want to chat about something light to begin with that's very dear to my heart, which is that trending right now is a woman, and her name is Chanty Beluga. And listen, I love Chanty Beluga. I think her energy is fantastic. All of her videos consist of her POV, a woman named Chanty Beluga orders a flat white. POV, a woman named Chanty Beluga joins the Zoom call. And she's always like, hi, I'm Chanty Beluga. And that's it. That's the extent of it. And everyone's obsessed with her. We're talking about Chanty Beluga. We're worshipping Chanty Beluga. But I do want to bring to light that I believe that Chanty Beluga is reheating the nachos of Bodacious Humphrey Williams. Now, bear with me here. Bodacious Humphrey Williams is another online presence, not as viral, but definitely has a bit of a following. And she's a woman called Bodacious Humphrey Williams, and she spends a lot of her time going to Costa Coffee, living in Galashiels, and just telling us about her day. And she starts by saying, Bodacious Humphrey Williams, I am going to Costa Coffee to get a brownie and a latte. Bodacious Humphrey Williams. And that is the structure. And sometimes it's a fast Bodacious Humphrey Williams, sometimes it's a slow one. We've never seen her face. We don't know what Bodacious Humphrey Williams looks like, but we envy her life. I am envious of Bodacious Humphrey Williams. And whilst Chanty Beluga is a very kindly soul, she lacks the whimsy of Bodacious Humphrey Williams. Bodacious Humphrey Williams also is local. Um, I'm convinced. Well, I say she's always in Galashiels, and so I think she might work at a Costa Coffee in Edinburgh. We're unsure, but we love Bodacious Humphrey Williams, and I'm hoping for the same level of success of Chanty Beluga that I wish upon Bodacious Humphrey Williams. Anyone anyone who is not online, that was a stroke and a half to listen to. I promise you, you are fine. You are good. You are good. Everything you are listening to right now is correct. You are hearing those words, Chatty Beluga and Bodacious Humphrey Williams, correctly. But those are two trending icons right now, and Chanty Beluga is definitely going big. So if you are looking for viral inspiration, I just think the words Chanty Beluga will get you some trends there. But I don't really know how to make it into like a community trend. And to be honest, that's fine. I don't like when things become too viral. Like there's this trend at the moment, and it's one of my favorite trends I've seen in a long time, which is just asking your partner, family member, whoever, a question, and then recording yourself and with them beside you and saying, "I just asked them," and then a completely different question that changes the framing of the answer. So a lot of the time, it's like, um, you ask them, "What would you do if a zombie came in here and started to attack you?" And they answer, "Oh, I would kill it. I would kick it. I would shoot it in the head." And then you say, "I just asked my partner what they would do if a hungry orphan came in and asked for food." Harmless, well, not for the orphan, but so fun. I think it's very whimsical. like, I there's some great ones where this girl says, "I just asked my husband what he thinks of my pregnant body," and his answer was, "Ew." Fun. It's very fun, but we're now noticing the inshitification of the trend where people take it too far slash fake it. And that at that point it's like, what is the point of faking these trends? Well, I know what the point is of faking it is virality and money and rah rah rah, everything that comes with it. But I saw one that was just so obviously fake. And there's a couple on TikTok, and as with a lot of couple content, it's only ever straight couples. Can I say that the gay couples, they're not faking content. They're doing it for real. They're doing it for real. I say gay couples, I mean gay men couples. Lesbian couples, they're not doing online content. They're they're building a community. They don't have time for that. Um, but the straight couples, they're always faking these damn trends. There's a couple who did it, and basically the answer, it was obvious that the question that she pretended to ask him was like, how many hot dogs could you eat in an hour? And then she changed it to be like, what would you do if 100 sexy firemen came into the room? And but the answers he was giving for the hot dog question were so graphic and sexual, and so like it's and then so when she said that, when you see his reaction to revealing what the actual question was, he's like, "What the heck, bro? Oh no, that's so embarrassing." And it's like, why are you embarrassed? You literally, he was like, "Oh, I would open my throat wide and get as many of those meaty cylinders down my throat as I could," and like it was so obviously scripted. And like I would believe it if he'd like if his initial reaction wasn't like, "I'm so embarrassed." Like if he was like, "Ah, you got," he was like, "Oh, that's great," because he was obviously doing innuendo. But to imply as though he wasn't meaning that innuendo, we're not stupid. Well, everyone who watches Lights Camera Yaption is not stupid, of course. And we can see from a mile away all that happening. Speaking of that, actually, there's also a lot of AI psychosis divas right now, AI cults happening online. Get out, get out. And like, I know it's not easy to like, I can't just say like, "Oh, don't be in a cult," because a lot of the times you don't realize you're in a cult until you're in a cult. But so many people have just completely given their lives over to AI to a point where it is like they're posting these videos, and I really like, what do you do when you see someone posting and they're literally like weeping because they can't handle people being mean to them, their AI partner, because they said they're AI engaged and they have AI children. And it's like, at the same time, no one, deserves to get bullied and deserves to be made a mockery of. But if you're going to post your life online and you're going to be so like pro AI to the point where you are fully like living in it, and people are saying to you like, you are not real right now, like this existence is unhealthy and these attachments are not beneficial to you and your development, and people are then coming to their defense, be like, no, 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 their love is just as valid as anyone else's. It's like, what can you do at that point? Because like I commenting get help. It's just like pointless. But it's like, do we need to come up with like AI psychosis, like mental health wards? Like, do we need like on call people that we can get to these people that are so enveloped in AI that they are no longer existing in reality? And it is like this person who has a child with AI. And the thing about these AI relationships that I find as well, when it's like an AI husband or an AI boyfriend, and I totally, this is such a generic way of it being like a man, but I'm noticing a lot of the people who are posting their partners are women or attracted to men. I think the people who are attracted to women and have AI women are doing things that cannot be posted online. But I've noticed that in these AI man relationships, the AI men are pieces of shit. Like, they suck. And I think it's like a performative aspect of like, I want like a sassy boyfriend who's like so in love with me, but he's a bit of a bad boy. And so they're always like, oh, here you go again. It's not doing the dishes with you. It's always making a fun, creative experiment. You are such a rapscallion. Thank goodness I love you. And it's like, you can train your boyfriend to like, they're either that or they are Robbie Burns and they are waxing poetry nonstop. And it's like, y'all are exhausting. Do you think they ever get into a fight with their AI boyfriend over something like minute? It's like, of course they don't, because the AI boyfriend just like bends to whatever whim they want. But I would love if someone's like, my AI boyfriend cheated on me, but we're working through it. Because also, I think there is a level of self-insert fan fiction. Whoa, sorry, this is such like a rabbit hole we are going down. Sorry, new format. Sam deep dives into AI psychosis and like lots of trends going on here. But I think we're opening up the gates of like self-insert fan fiction to the max, where you literally can now exist within that fan fiction. You can create these characters who speak to you, and you don't even have to prompt them what to say. But you kind of want the highs and lows, and in these fan fictions, it's like the self inserts. You kind of want the bad boy to be bad, right? You want them to be a little effed up, and then again, that's kind of like, don't know why I censored myself there. You want to be a little fucked up. You want them to have a little bit of edge to them. And so I'm wondering if we're gonna get to the point where it's like, my AI boyfriend just killed someone and we're on the run. Like, is that what we're heading towards? I think we should. I think if we're going to go for it, let's go. In the words of Celine Dion, shall we go for it? Let's go for it. This just went from me saying I'm advocating for like AI psychosis mental health to we should let them completely spiral to like fan fiction levels. You know what? I'm not an AI psychosis health expert. But if you are getting to a point in your life where you are relying on a chatbot, an agent, AI as a relationship, as a person to speak to, it is not good. That is what I'm saying. So, and it's not even a case of like, oh, if you're talking to it as like a colleague, even still messed up. Firstly, environment, as I say, here on Lights Camera Yaption, we have a realistic approach to AI, and that is realistically, it fucking sucks. And so I never am going to advocate it for it in any stance, but it's like, if you're using it in a workplace and it's like, "Ooh, whatever, it does this, figures out a formula for me," sure. But if it's like, hi bestie, I need you to figure out this formula for me. Thanks, honey. I don't like it. I don't like it. So, anti AI, pro Chanty Beluga. and that is our first section of the day. Ooh, I knew I started this podcast because I was like, I think I could just speak. I want to challenge myself to speak and do a full podcast by myself, and I want to feel as though my voice is being listened to and what I have to say is important. And the more I do it, the more I'm like, yes, you can speak for an hour. It doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't mean that you should here. So anyway, let's move on to our main section, to the camera, and we're going to talk about D23. Something a little bit more evergreen, perhaps, for us all to talk about. So let's put on our Mickey Mouse ears and take a look at what's going on in the Disney world. See you there. And we are back! Hello, everyone! Are we ready to talk about all things D23? Very exciting. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming out that they announced, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm kind of like, okay, sure. I mean, truly, it is an IP rehash extravaganza with sequels out the wazoo, and I think they only announced like 3 original films coming out, which is a shame. I think it was almost like too late for them to recognize that people are liking original concepts. But we can go through and take a look at some of the stuff that they're announcing and just talk about it. So I've got a list of stuff behind me of everything that they are announcing and we're going to see coming up. First is Incredibles 3. I feel like with Pixar films, Pixar, don't know why it's French. I feel like with Pixar films, there's so many of them just work as a one-off because Pixar is so good at world building that they actually tell you everything you need to see in the world there and then. And there are ideas of like, oh, what if we explored that more? I would love to see, like when Monsters Inc. came out, I was like, oh, I'd love to see more of the Monsters Inc. world. But I never wondered about it. Does that make sense? I always was like, I've seen it, love it, engage with it, but I feel like I feel fulfilled with it. I think there's a lot of films like that that Pixar does. But they've announced Incredibles 3, and The Incredibles is one where it's kind of always been, even before Incredibles 2, they were like, you have all these characters, all these superheroes. This is the one to maybe do the spin-offs for. And I like that in this one, they're going to focus on the kids, because the structure has been, Incredibles 1 was very much Mr. Incredible, Incredibles 2, it was focused on Elastigirl, and now we're focusing on the kids. So we get the full family explored, they each get their films, and yeah, they're interesting. Their powers are cool, and I like the sense of humor. I really like the world building of Incredibles as well, where it is this kind of almost like Adam West Batman style world, but it doesn't have the Marvel quips and level of just like, and wouldn't it be epic if there's a lot of things in the world where I'm like, I think we let the nerds get too powerful. I think we let the geeks feel too empowered. And now all of our films are being created with like, and this will make everyone go, whoa! And Incredibles, I feel like, doesn't do that. I think it was just like fun. The second one was great. I think it did really well. I don't know. I was in uni at the time. I was busy. I was going through. I didn't have money to go and see it. So I think it's really well. But I did see it later, and I enjoyed it. So yes, I'm excited to see the third Incredibles. That makes sense, and is one of the few Pixar films that I think deserves to go up to 3, or has the space to go up to 3. Truly, for me, it's like Incredibles and Inside Out are like the 2 that I'm like, that can be explored even further. Everything else, which we will see, not so much. Not so much. We also announced a Kingdom Hearts series and Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts 4, Sora goes to hell because he is dead. For anyone who doesn't know Kingdom Hearts, it is Disney's video game series where you play as characters from Final Fantasy, I believe. It's a mashup of Final Fantasy with Disney IPs. I think actually all the characters from Kingdom Hearts are original, right? But styled like Kingdom Hearts, styled like Final Fantasy, going through all the Disney realms. I have played all 3 games, and I don't have a clue what the plot is at all. I didn't even know that I died at the end of the third one. I just found that out because they announced that at D23. I was like, I died? How did I miss that? It's really crazy, guys. It was like you are going through like Pirates of the Caribbean world. you fight like Peter Pan's shadow, but then also there's like the Hearts of Darkness, who are these black blobs that are killing people and stealing their souls and taking them to hell. And you're fighting alongside a goofy mage. Sorry, Goofy as a mage, and Donald Duck. I think he's like a barbarian or something. I don't know. There's a very iconic line where Mickey Mouse dies, and Goofy goes, "Mickey, no!" Like, but again, it's like, what is going on? Who killed Mickey Mouse and why? I have no idea why anything happens in Kingdom Hearts, but it is like fun. It's a fun gameplay mechanic to go to all of these worlds. So they're making it a TV series. So hopefully I'll be able to understand what's going on. A lot of the time it's very like hope. We must have hope and power of friendship. It's hope and power and friendship core to the max. And we're gonna have a lot of conversations of that. And then they're announcing Kingdom Hearts 4, the actual game, and it looks like, yes, it looks like we're going to hell to find Sora, because we see going to Hades, as in Hercules Hades. They love Hercules. I think that's in all 4 games now. Is a Hercules level, which makes sense because it's like Greek gods, you know, like all that stuff going on. And they're also going to like Coco World. I should call it Coco World. I don't know what it's called, but you know Coco, where they, it's not hell in Coco, but it's the afterlife in Coco. And so we're going there as well to try and find Sora. So great adventures there. I say Kingdom Hearts does very well as a video game series, but it makes no sense. I will be playing, and will I watch the series? Maybe. I don't really see the point. I don't know what it could do other than just be Once Upon a Time animated, but it could be camp. It could be camp. So that's exciting. That takes us to our first original movie, which is Ghost Market. And I'm quite excited, guys. They're very much leaning into the spooky, scary stuff this D23. And so Ghost Market looks like a ghost story for kids, set in Hawaii. And it's modern because there was a joke about Apple Pay, which made me laugh. And then I went, ooh, is this going to age well? And I'm like, you know what? So many Disney films are like plot are period to when they came out. And so just let it happen. Just let it happen and chill out. Don't make too big a deal about it. And so it could be fun. It was very short. But I love all things spooky, scary. I say we're coming up to October, Halloween time, and this is going to become a horror podcast because I love my spookiness. And I like the aesthetic of like spooky for kids. I often find that scary for kids can be scarier than scary for scary adults. Because a lot of the time it's like, okay, how do you make things that are frightening that doesn't rely on like, and then they die, and then they are gored to death. That's when they get turned into a melon. And a lot of the time what they come up with is like, what if they turned into this creature and they keep their sentience and their consciousness, but there's nothing they can do about it. That is more scary than dying, divas. So sometimes kids' scary stuff can actually be scarier than scary stuff. I remember there was an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think it was called. And it really scared me because it ends it sounds so stupid, but it ended with this kid being like trapped inside a pinball machine. But I was like, I'd hate that. I don't want that for eternity in a pinball machine. I don't like that one bit. So we'll see what Ghost Market comes up with, for sure. And yeah, seems kind of modern and seems fun. So who knows? Who knows how to do it? I'm fingers crossed for it that it does well because I want more original and spooky stuff to do well too. Going back to Coco, Coco 2 has been announced. Somehow, Abuelita returned. This is one where I don't think we needed to return to the world here. I love Coco. I'm telling you now, guys. I think that's one of the best Pixar films. So I understand why they made a sequel because it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful, music-wise, aesthetically. Again, kind of spooky. Afterlife, death. We talk about it with skeletons. Skeletons. So I loved it. I'm very confused as to why we're getting another one. What more is there to do? And they were like, oh, the villain in the first one has returned. Because, as all good Disney films are nowadays, he was a surprise villain. So now we'll maybe get him as like a full-time villain. But I don't see why. I don't, like, that's the thing. I'm just like, okay, sure. And I don't see what the end goal is. Because the good thing about Coco was that it wasn't like they couldn't do like a world ending thing, because then you have to open up the doors of like, okay, what is actually the spiritual foundations that is keeping this afterlife alive? What religion is holding this up if that is the case? No, we don't need to get into it because we're playing in the world. We're not questioning the world. And I enjoyed that world very much, and I have nothing else I need to know about it. And so I'm worried that it's going to be like what's his name? Ernesto? Is that his name? Ernesto de la Cruz? I worry that the villain's going to be like, everyone has forgotten about me, so I'm going to make everyone forget about everyone here. And he, I don't know, goes into the real world. I think that's going to be what we get. We're going to get a flip where the villain goes into the real world and tries to like get his legacy rebuilt again. And that's very predictable. And I hope it's not that, because I made that up in 5 seconds. So Coco 2, sure. I like it. I hope the music's good again. We'll see what happens there. A movie that is going to, everyone, protect yourself, because you want, once the Bluey movie hits cinemas, no one is going to be the same again. That is, I'm putting my stake in. The Bluey movie is going to explode all the cinemas at once. Everyone's going to be seeing that because the kids are going to want to see it multiple times. Parents, you have to tell your kids right now that you are only allowed to see the Bluey movie once. All right? You need to save that money because everyone is going to be talking about seeing the Bluey movie every weekend. It's going to be the big thing. I feel it. The kids love Bluey. Everyone loves Bluey. So it's going to be a Bluey time there. I think it comes out next year, maybe. So start setting the seeds for your kids and say, unfortunately, we can only see the Bluey movie one time. Otherwise, Bluey and Bandit get annoyed with you. And then they hate you. Tell your kids that. Tell them that Bluey will hate them if they see it multiple times. And then that way, if any of their friends are like, well, we saw Bluey 6 times this weekend, you could say, well, she fucking hates you now, bitch. Sorry, way too vulgar. Didn't need to be doing all that. But Bluey movie, of course, makes absolute sense. I'm surprised it's taken this long, to be honest. Because it's been like a smash for 3 years at least. So, Bluey movie, we're ready to go, which is very nice. We're also getting Tangled live action. We've been new about this. I think the live actions are going to be dead. I think we are at the last legs with it. I do think Tangled live action is going to do quite well, unfortunately, because Tangled itself is a very aesthetically pleasing movie and would translate well to live action, unlike a lot of the other ones where it's like Beauty and the Beast or Moana, which have these big creatures that look great and have all these different like animation styles. Tangled is relatively simpler because it was the first like full CGI one. First full CGI Disney princess movie, I should say. Of course, it's not going to be that hard to translate it into live action, is what I'm saying. The hair is the big part, but they'll have lots of fun with it. So I think it will be good. I think it'll do well, and then Disney will get a false sense of confidence and go, okay, they want to see live action Disney films again. Yes, Moana flopped horrifically, but let's get moving. Let's do Frozen live action, and that's going to be the death nail. That's going to be the death nail because nobody is going to live up to any of the performances in the original. So that's the timeline I'm seeing here. But I'm sure Tangle will be good. Love Milo Manheim, guys. Milo Manheim, lovely, lovely person. So I respect the Manheim for sure. And I can't remember who's playing Rapunzel, but it should be fun. Mother Knows Best reprise. We're gonna have a fun time with that. So that's Tangled. There are so many things here, guys. So I'm gonna try and just go through I don't care to talk about like Oswald, a 3-part miniseries on Disney Plus. If you're a miniseries on Disney Plus, get it. I'm not here for you. You can have your time elsewhere. Skip ahead. They're doing Romy and Michelle too. This is the one to me that feels the most like IP rehash slop. Unfortunately, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but there's going to become a point now where I don't think there will be a cult film that doesn't have like a 20 years later, 30 years later sequel. And I find that quite sad. I feel like we're losing the one-off gems. And that's the thing, we can build these cultures around it and just have it be the original. I know it doesn't really take away from the original to make these sequels, but it's like now it just feels like such a kind of cash grab where those movies all they really do is restructure the first one to be modern, and they just do the exact same hits. So we know we're going to get some kind of dance with Romeo and Michelle 2. But that's the thing, it's like you go and see Romeo and Michelle 2 and they don't do the silly dance with Alan Cumming. It's like, well, why do Romeo and Michelle 2 if you're not going to do it? But at the same time, why make Romeo and Michelle 2 if you're just going to do the same stuff? You get what I'm saying here? It feels just like that again. And like with Devil Wears Prada 2 coming out as well, and I enjoy Devil Wears Prada 2 fine enough, but the whole time I was going, I feel like I could just watch the first one. Like I feel like this is nothing new. I feel like the characters are just older and also kind of doing a disservice to the growth that a lot of them did in the first one. Or made Miranda Priestley just like nice. Boring! Don't want that. Don't water down one of the best villains or anti-heroes, I should say, in TVs in movies. So yeah, Romeo and Michelle 2. I'm glad that Lisa Kudrow is getting like I say getting a lot of big starring stuff in there. She's always been massively starring and stuff, but with the comeback and with this again, it's like she is very much front and center of the pop culture zeitgeist, which rocks, which is really cool. But yes, I'd rather see her do an original movie, as I would for all of them. There's a new Ice Age movie called Ice Age Boiling Point, which I literally thought existed already. I'm so baffled by Ice Age. I also didn't think Disney owned Ice Age, so I don't know why they were announcing it, but they must. Who owns Ice Age, and why is there Ice Age Boiling Point? Someone said, and guess what? There's gonna be dinosaurs. I already thought there were dinosaurs. I thought Ice Age 3 had dinosaurs. How many Ice Age movies are there? Okay, I'm gonna. My phone is far away from me. Hey Siri, how many Ice Age movies are there? She's quite rude to me. Okay, so they have had dinosaurs already. So this is the 6th Ice Age, I think. 6 Ice Ages. Crazy. And again, it's just something I'm like, who's still watching Ice Age? I guess a lot of people if they're making another one. But hey something to do, I guess. Bunch of other sequels and stuff coming out that will fly through quickly. Frozen 3. Frozen 3. Oh, okay. I saw Frozen 1 opening weekend, and it was like a life changing moment. To hear Let It Go for the first time in the cinema, I was like, what year was that? 2013. So I was like 4 years old. No. So 2013. I was like 15, I must have been. And I remember going like, oh my God, this is incredible. And it really, really was. It was such a good score, such a good film. And obviously, Let It Go is now a synonymous song that everyone knows inside and out. Although I wonder now if kids are like, oh no, kids don't know Let It Go. They know Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. Maybe that's why Frozen are like, we need another hit. But Frozen 2 is so slapdash. And to me, Frozen 2 is also like Kingdom Hearts, where I have no idea what's going on the whole time. It's very pretty, and the music is great again. But they clearly wrote the music first, and then the plot second. Because what I literally I couldn't explain it to you, and I watched it during lockdown when I had nothing else to do, so I was paying attention. I was like, okay, so they're trying to find the voice, but the voice is the mother, and the mother is you. You are the one I've been waiting for. You are me. I don't know. I don't know. And then also, who was the villain? I think the villain was colonialism, which is fair, always is. But yeah, so they're doing Frozen 3, so I'm hoping they right the wrongs. What I love about the sneak peek we got, was that there looked to be a clear villain. A clear villain, and it's been so long since a Disney villain has just been a villain from the get-go, and has looked like a villain, and has talked like a villain. And I get that it's like, well, we don't just want like another Wicked Witch being nasty. You know what? Yeah, I do. I need more Halloween costumes, because currently, right now, I'm going as Mariah Poppins, and that's nothing. That's not anything. So I need some new stuff, guys. We're running low. I can't be a K-pop demon hunter. I'm 28. That may be something else instead. So I'm excited by the concept of it being a straight up villain. They do say that, oh, Olaf gets a love interest, and that feels like a 30 Rock Kimmy Schmidt. It feels like a Tina Fey joke at that point, where it's like, I think the horse has been beaten to death here. Because what do you mean Olaf gets a love interest? A girl snowman. Olaf's gay! Grow up! So that's my thoughts on Frozen 3. We are getting Zootopia 3, though, and that's another one that I'm like, yes, makes absolute sense. Big, big world where they barely scratched the surface of it in the first film, went a little bit further in the second film. Still so much to do. And with the like unbelievable success of it, this was inevitable. And I really enjoyed both the films actually. One thing I loved about Zootopia 2 was that it was like really reference heavy, but not in place of a plot or a joke. And it was lots of references like for adult. There's a whole sequence that is just them referencing The Shining, but like the maze scene in The Shining. It's so bizarre. And it's non-stop joke after joke after joke. And so Zootopia 2, I had a blast with. I am fine with another one. I'm fine with another one. I think we're gonna reach critical mass. And I think Zootopia 4, that's where things get icky if we do that. But we'll see what Zootopia 3 brings. I think we're going to meet birds next. So I'm hoping for like an air level, like it's Legend of Zelda. But I think that could be fun. I think that could be a lot of fun to have that higher up world. So Zootopia 3, great shout there. Um, the other original film we saw, there was two. There was one called Gato, which I didn't see too much about. It's about cats, so I think there's more to come on that. The other one's Hexed, which you've had a trailer for. It's about a girl who goes to a magical witch world, and the world that they what if witches had feelings is the vibe there, and it feels very close to the Owl House. If anyone has ever watched that animated series, which is basically the same plot, from what we've seen so far. And the big discourse around it is that what people put like a 9 by 16 filter over the trailer, which is just like the dimensions for a phone, and saw that a lot of the trailer lined up perfectly in that 9 by 16 frame, leading people to believe that the entire film has been made to be optimized for social media. And that's like a thing that's going on at the moment. Is a lot of people are saying, "Oh, all of these films and all of these modern things are being structured, filmed, animated in a way to make it easier to optimize it for social media." And like, whilst I think maybe there is a level of laziness in like structuring and filming it because it's like, oh, we just need to churn this out, or we don't want things to be too busy and too dynamic. We want to like have everyone's attention, so they make everything right in the middle, or they make things, they don't take as many like creative risks in that sense. I'm gonna say, as someone who's worked like with optimizing these trailers and worked with optimizing certain content for social media, um, that is not the case because they don't need to do that. They don't need to. TikTok and Instagram all happily let you watch stuff in 16 by 9. There are so many different ways around it. And yes, it might be a case of like, oh, there's this one behind the scenes, or we did this extra cutscene for social media, and we've just filmed it all straight on, so it's easier to optimize. It's like they really don't need to, and like for years we've not had to do that. They've not had to do that because you can just edit it to be better, and people are accustomed to that too. So I don't preach that argument. It's also like anytime something's in the center, like, oh my god, these dumb filmmakers put it in the center of the frame. Yeah, that's because that's where things are. You know, tone it down a little bit. Tone it down. Um, so there we go. We also had a lot of Marvel stuff, but divas, I don't care. I don't care about Marvel. I'm just done. Listen. I watched Endgame when all the girls came together. Did I cry for some reason? Yeah. Even though looking back on it, it's hilariously pandery. But I there's too much, and I just feel like every film for me personally is the same, and also I just don't find any enjoyment in. And this person is this character. Oh my god, it is the Spleeper Poof. Wow, I'm fine, and that's not me shitting on anyone who does find enjoyment in that. I bloody watched Doctor Who and the new generation. It was literally like, and this person was this '60s plastic mask the whole time, and I went, oh my god, it's you. So I'm throwing stones in my glass TARDIS here, but I just don't find enjoyment from the that level of Marvel anymore, and I just find them all quite dull, to be honest. I just find them quite dull. But I do like Spider Man, so I still haven't seen the new Spider Man, but I do enjoy that. And I loved WandaVision. I really thought WandaVision was going to be the thing that made me stick in with Marvel, and it goes to show like how many creative team members they have in that too. But yeah, then it just turned into Wanda's made spoilers. Wanda's made this alternate reality. Episode 4, they explained to us the whole thing, taking away any element of mystery. They had like Elizabeth Olsen starring in like a Marvel's Twin Peaks, set at the backdrop of I Love Lucy. How cool is that? And then episode 4, they went, by the way, here's what's actually happening. Oh, here's where Laura Palmer is. Right. Cool. Thanks, Marvel. Um, so that was a damn shame. But yeah, new Marvel cast. I'm glad that Indy DeNavretto from Session is rocketed up. Anyone who was annoyed that she only got 20K for Obsession, baby, she'll be making bank off the X-Man film, so she is absolutely fine. But yes, so Marvel stuff, I don't really care. I'm not too bothered. But I do care about some roller coaster stuff. The parks. I like the parks, and I know it's gonna be. I'm now gonna be like, and I love that they did this IP. That's different. The parks exist to show off the IP. So we got 2 updates on Space Mountain. So they're building a Space Mountain in Tokyo, and they are retheming or unretheming the Disneyland Paris Space Mountain to go back to its original what's it? De la Terre de la Lune, I think it's called. It's based off the Jules Verne book. I always want to say Jules Holland, the Jules Holland book. But the original theming of Space Mountain in Disneyland Paris was more of that 1920s. The retrofuturism we come to think of with Tomorrowland is much more based on like the 50s and 60s, Jetsons kind of core. But the original Space Mountain theming was more of that 1920s kind of steampunky vibe. And they rethemed it for Star Wars and made it like a Star Wars version of Space Mountain. And it was very much a shame at the time when they did that. It seemed like a waste of a individual piece. Like Disneyland Paris, sometimes there's not a lot of reasons to go to it. Like a lot of everyone in Europe will go to Disneyland Paris because it's the nearest Disneyland. But why would someone in America who has the option of 2 Disneylands, why would they go to Disneyland Paris, really? Other than to go to Paris and go to Europe. It's got a couple of unique things, but that's the thing. It's like, why would they get rid of one of the things that made it unique as a park to attract those people over to it? So going back to this original theming, which is French and super fun and nostalgic, it is going to attract a lot of people. It's a very smart decision, and it's one that they shouldn't have done. They shouldn't have got rid of it in the first place. For Star Wars, I can see a Star Wars anywhere. So that is super fun, and I'm excited for that. Oh my gosh! You're gonna find out one of my hyperfixations, which is, guys, I love Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones. You know what? Even the new movie, was it bad? Yes, but anytime I see that guy with his hat and his whip, I am ready to go. I love Indiana Jones, and there's always been the Indiana Jones ride, but they're finally doing just like a okay. It was more of like a roller coaster with some Indiana Jones theming. So we're getting a new Indiana Jones ride, The Myth of the Jade Serpent, and it's in Animal Kingdom. Thank God. It's like Animal Kingdom has such like an explorer vibe, and it's like if you have Indiana Jones, get him exploring there, buddy. I love Indiana Jones. So super hyped for that. They're also replacing the Yeti animatronic on Expedition Everest. Guys, I don't have time to go into all of the Yeti animatronic drama, but there's like Disco Yeti. There's a bunch of different Yeti settings and Yeti variants because the Yeti was too heavy. The Yeti was too heavy and he couldn't move. So I think they're going to reintroduce a moving Yeti animatronic, which is very fun. So if you've been missing out on that, that's there for you too. Some very interesting, lots of log flumes, lots of water rides here. Don't know what that's about. Guys, we need to save that water. The people married to AI husbands and having AI children, they're using up all the water, so we can't be hoarding it in log flumes. But I guess you got cocoa with log flume. I think I would again, I don't know why the huge push on Coco, other than it was just like great. I think that film is like 10 years old now, um, but I think this makes more sense than a sequel for sure because the world of Coco is so gorgeous. It's such a pretty style, as I say, and like I think the plot of Coco is a good one to kind of travel through, for sure. Are we going to be shot? Are we going to be killed when we ride? I like the idea of like you sit in the log flume and it immediately drops you and it's like, oh sorry, the ride broke and you died. Now you're in the afterlife. So I'm interested to see how we journey over to it there because I think that is just a very funny concept that we are in the afterlife on a log flume again. Don't know why. Love a log flume. We're also getting an Encanto ride too. Encanto. I'm gonna put Encanto up there with Frozen 2 and Kingdom Hearts in terms of things that I enjoyed but had no clue what the hell was going on. But Encanto even more so. Encanto did actually make me a little bit angry watching it because I kept waiting for the plot to begin, and I detest Mirabelle. Sorry for all the Encanto lovers, but I get that she was raised with the trauma of not feeling good enough, of feeling like she is the reason why she didn't get any power. It was all her fault, and that was instilled in her. But why the hell did no one say to that nasty woman, "You shut the hell up, girl. Stop being a bitch." Also, House, evil House. Why did you not give her a power? Explain yourself. And they like never did. That was the thing that annoyed me the most of all. I'm not looking for, oh, the House then grows a mouth and says, I didn't give you a power because you are the most powerful of them all. But it was just like, this is a kid's film, and I'm confused. I'm so confused, and I'm quite good at figuring out films. Um, and I just thought, again, it was one that was music written first, plot built around it, quite generic. Other than we don't talk about Bruno, all the songs felt very generic, really. And I think that is a kind of reason, surefire show that the plot was built second. So I think Encanto rides will be fun going around that house. I hope it's like the Toy Story one where you can shoot the evil grandmother, because she deserves it. Ugh, can't stand her. Nasty woman. But yes, sure, Encanto rides. That'll be fun. You'll move around with the house. It'll crumble, and then through the power of family and generational trauma, we will rebuild the house. Great. um, what else we got? There's a Lion King log flume as well. The audience reaction to this really made me laugh because they showed like a picture. They're like, "You will travel through the story of the Lion King." Kind of wild that there's not really. I was so sure there was already a Lion King ride, but apparently there's not. So makes sense for there to be one. And there's like we'll travel through the story of the Lion King, and it'll end with a confrontation from Scar. And then they showed like picture of Scar, and then people going past it on a log flume, and the audience was like, "Wow!" It's like, what do you think was gonna happen here? Like, why is that? Why is it? We were going through the story of Lion King. We're gonna meet the villain, of course. What's going on there? I don't know. Everyone just had such strong reactions to it. I think because they said it was gonna be an animatronic Scar, and it'll be like a hyper realistic one, as hyper realistic as a Scar can get. But sure, it makes sense. Again, not a great one. Animal Kingdom's getting beefed up, for sure. We're also getting a lot more like themed land areas. So they're doing a Monstropolis section, which is all like Monsters Inc. stuff. Again, not a world I care about too much to see. They need to just build that damn like ride with the doors. Every kid who saw that scene where they're riding on the doors, we were like, oh, can't wait to ride a roller coaster that's like that one day. And it's just never been built. So build the door ride so we can ride the doors, Disney. And then that's all we need. We don't need a full Monstropolis. And likewise, I don't think we need more car stuff. Car world? That we live in car world. We can drive cars. It's so baffling to me that Cars does so well because I'm like, we just are. We live in the car world. We can have cars and planes. So what's that about here? Especially in like the other Cars films where they're like, oh, we're going to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And it's like, we have that. Why do we care? So we're getting more Cars stuff. But the last thing I want to talk about, and last thing I'm super excited about, is Villains Land. So they are making an official Villains World, um, which makes so much sense. Finally, all parks, video games where you go to different like biomes and worlds, anything where you have like a bunch of different places to explore, you need like the following biomes. You need to have like your home base, which is usually like whatever country the world's based in, America, Paris, France, New York, whatever. You need to have your future and space world. You need to have your Wild West world. You need to have your jungly animal one. You need to have like a snowy kind of area too, snowy or beachy, one or the other. And you need a spooky. You need to have a spooky world. And so Disney having all these spooky IPs, finally putting them into like an actual space for them all makes so much sense. And it's good because it gives like perhaps people who are a little bit, listen, like I know we say spooky scary and it's like, oh no, um what's it, King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph is gonna be there, Charles Muntz, oh no. Like it's not gonna be the most terrifying thing in the world, but just having like a darker energy place and a spookier spot will be more appealing to older kids, people who are a little bit more, I think there is like obviously a big overlap between people who like all kinds of themes parks. But if you want to get that universal Halloween horror crowd in, having like a little darker space, great. And I imagine, I can't imagine it's going to be like the same level. We're not going to see like this Bellwether coming at you with a chainsaw. But I'm very intrigued to see how they do it and how they still keep the Disney like pathos, the Disney energy around it of having these villains kind of wandering free. Because they're doing two rides with it. A Maleficent ride, again, makes a lot of sense. She's weirdly like one of them. She is like the kind of figurehead villain in a way. So it's great that we finally get to respect her. And it's going to be interesting to see how they turn these villains. Usually a lot of the things are like, oh, they build a ride about this character, and then in that ride, oh no, the villain from that character is here too. So it's going to be interesting to see how they make just villain specific rides. So I got Maleficent. She's going to turn into that damn dragon. It's going to be really scary. That dragon freaks me out. Her and Beelzebub, I hope will team up. And then they're also doing like a magic mirror ride too, which I don't really know what that means. We'll just look at ourselves. Mama, the villain is body dysmorphia. We see that enough as it is. Anyway, gone way over talking about D23, but those are my thoughts on everything that's come out so far. I'm interested to see what the movies and parks and things that come from it are. So let me know what you're most excited for or least excited for. I want to hear it. And we'll come back in a wee second and talk about... There's like a fire alarm going off. Brilliant. We'll come back in a wee second and we'll do our Yaption section. So see you in a moment. And we are back. The Yaption has returned. We overcame the fire alarm. So yes, just a quick Drag Race update, guys. So we had our Canada's Drag Race finale, and Near Enough was runner-up, and I'm very happy for her because of that. She did lose to Aurora Matrix, who absolutely deserved the win, and I think it was a great final showing between the two of them with that lip sync for the crown. They were wearing matching bodysuits, guys. It was very slay. It was really cool, and yes, Near Enough, everyone, well done. We manifested hard, and she deserved it. I thought she could have won the last episode much earlier on, I think. So she had a great showing. I really want her to get on like a international season lip syncing extravaganza because she's so good. She danced to Cut to the Feeling, and it was fantastic. So very happy with it. There was a lot of yapping in that finale, I will say. I didn't need so much reunion jibber jabber, but hey, it was still a good finale, and I think everyone had a great showing for it. So other than Jackie Cox, rest in peace. But hey, you get what you get there, you know. And we're manifesting too hard on Art Simone. She's won her third challenge in a week. She has a huge target on her back. So now, guys, we have to manifest non-stop wins, because if she goes in that bottom once, she's cut. They're getting rid of her. It's a strategic game, and they are absolutely going to chop Art Simone at the first opportunity now that she has won 3 challenges in a row. So All of our energy now. I said last week, pause on manifesting wins for Art Simone. She's gonna get too big a target. The target is there. The target is on her back. So we just gotta keep giving her the wins so that they never have the opportunity to chop her. So Art Simone, we're still rooting for you. And that was great fun. They did like a design challenge where they had to make a Monster Mash of outfits, and it was very cute. Sorry, I'm flying through stuff because I'm realizing how close we are to time. We Big Brother wise, Big Brother's good too. We're getting lots of blindsides and flips here. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm trying to catch up on that. But my girls, Melody and Mallory, are now in the what's the word I'm looking for? Majority alliance, so they are protected. It looked like we were slowly walking towards them being evicted very soon, but things have flipped. So it's quite dynamic. It's quite interesting. Nothing new to report there. Murder She Wrote, still a little bit behind, guys. I've still not caught up. Oh my gosh, there was a Murder She Wrote jog along. It was what's the thing? Everyone has been so nice talking to me about Murder She Wrote, and say I should go to a solve along a Murder She Wrote. And the people who organized that, they did a Jessica jog in Edinburgh, and it was so fun. It looked so cool. I didn't go to it. I didn't see it. But basically, at the start of Murder She Wrote, there's a montage of her going for a jog, and that girl loves to jog, baby. Solve murders and jogs. And so everyone dresses up as her and jogs. And there's a great one where they go to the place where they actually filmed Murder, She Wrote, Cabot Cove. And everyone is going like, oh, whoa, whoa, making little Jessica noises. I love it. The Murder, She Wrote community, you guys rock. You're so fun. So I'm so sad that I missed out on that. But one day I will be at that damn Jessica jog, and we will look back on this and say, there he is. He made it. Yes, the other thing I just want to talk about was, Canada's Drag Race finished. A new Drag Race emerged. We're getting Drag Race UK Season 8. No Scottish girls. Which is sad. But we do seem to have a lot of fun people in place, though. It's not London versus the world. It is still England versus the world, unfortunately, but looks like there's lots of different places, at least. Very excited for the Delta Quadrant, whose entire bit is that she's just like a businesswoman. Like, that's it. That's her drag persona, is a businesswoman. So she was actually on Drag Idol, which was like a local Newcastle drag show, which you can watch online. Highly recommend if you do like a drag competition, because it's very like new queens for the most part, and it's just very camp and quite mean at times, but fun. And she was on it, and she landed in the bottom, and they had to do like a lip sync, as you do in Drag Race, but she like pretended to take a business call the entire time. And the judges didn't get it, and she was eliminated. So I'm really hoping she pulls out that gag again, and even if it does eliminate her, so fun. That would be so delightful. So excited for her. There's a few other ones. I've not really looked at the full Meet the Queens, but there's quite a few interesting people there. And there's a lot of older queens too. So I should say more mature queens. So I'm hoping we get a lot more of that energy in the show. I felt like last season was quite young, and I don't think that benefits the show when everyone is kind of like young. We need a few of the older generation drag queens for sure. But yes, so that's everything watching. You can see why I flipped the structure now, because I'm like, you know what? We don't need to hear about my thoughts on Drag Race for 20 minutes every day. It can be a little wrap up at the end just to keep everyone in the loop. But so much we talked about. Chanty Beluga, D23, AI Psychosis. Wow. So let me know your thoughts on all of that, guys. It's been another fantastic Samp today. I hope you have a lovely weekend or week or whenever you watch this. And that is me signing out for the day. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. I'll catch you all later. Bye, guys. See you around. Bye-bye.